Now we start with our top story this hour. Last night, Israel escalated its military campaign with a strike on Qatar aimed at killing Hamas's political leadership. The move marks a dangerous expansion of the conflict beyond Gaza and has drawn a sharp response from its closest ally, Washington. US President Donald Trump has voiced concern over the strikes on the Qatari capital. Speaking to reporters during a public appearance in Washington, Trump said, quote, "We want the hostages back, but we're not thrilled about the way it went down." Trump also confirmed speaking with both Netanyahu and Qatar's leaders and assured such a thing will not happen again on their soil. In fact, let's listen in to his statements.
I don't have to do that. I'm not thrilled about the whole situation. It's not a good situation. But I will say this, we want the hostages back, but we are not thrilled about the way that went down today. We have that one and we have Gaza going on. We want to get them both solved and ended.
Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said the Trump administration was notified by the US military just before the strike, but stressed Washington did not approve it, called it a unilateral Israeli action. She called the strike inside Qatar, a sovereign US ally helping broker peace, unhelpful to American or Israeli goals. Let's listen in to Karoline Leavitt's statements.
Trump administration was notified by the United States military that Israel was attacking Hamas. The president directed his special envoy Witkoff to immediately call the Qataris. And after the attack, he spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu. The president made his thoughts and concerns about this very clear, and he spoke again both to Prime Minister Netanyahu and also the Emir and the Prime Minister of Qatar after this attack. And the president has always made it very clear that he wants peace in the Middle East, just like he sought that and accomplished that in his first term. He expects all of our allies and friends in the region, that includes both Qatar and Israel, to seek peace as well. And he wants to see that happen, and he's working with all of our allies in the region to get that done. The president also overstressed the importance of peace in the region in his conversation with Prime Minister Netanyahu as well. And Prime Minister Netanyahu told President Trump he wants peace and he wants it quickly. That's what the president expects to happen. The president also spoke to the Emir and Prime Minister of Qatar and thanked them for their support and friendship to our country. He assured them that such a thing will not happen again on their soil. Absolutely was not the president's authentic signature, and we have maintained that position all along. The president did not write this letter, he did not sign this letter, and that's why the president's external legal team is aggressively pursuing litigation against the Wall Street Journal, and they will continue.
Now we have some more information for you. From inside Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he authorized what he called a surgical precision strike targeting top Hamas leaders in Doha, Qatar. He says the operation was a direct response to a deadly Hamas shooting near Jerusalem and the deaths of 4 Israeli soldiers in Gaza. Netanyahu also mentioned that the days are over when terror leaders can enjoy immunity of any kind. He emphasized that Israel will act wherever threats emerge, warning that no place is off limits. Netanyahu says the strike focused on top figures, including Hamas negotiator Khalil al-Hayya, and the strike, however, has drawn widespread global condemnation and may further threaten ongoing ceasefire efforts. Let's listen in to what the Israeli Prime Minister has to say.
At noon today, I convened the heads of Israel's security organizations and authorized a surgical precision strike on the terrorist chiefs of Hamas. These are the same terrorist chiefs who planned, launched, and celebrated the horrific massacres of October 7th. They perpetrated the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Now, they were meeting in the same place, exactly the same place, where they celebrated this savagery almost 2 years ago. At the beginning of the war, I promised that Israel would reach those who perpetrated this horror. And today, Israel and I have kept.
Now we have further reactions. The Qatari leadership has issued a statement on Israeli strikes targeting the members of the political bureau of Hamas in the Qatari capital. The Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani described the Israeli attacks as an act of state terrorism carried out by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The Qatari Prime Minister said that Qatar's air defense system was unable to detect Israel's missile strikes. He also stated that reports claiming Qatar was informed beforehand are false. In fact, he said the United States informed the Qatari authorities about the missile strike 10 minutes after the attack on Doha. Qatar has told the UN Security Council that it will not tolerate reckless Israeli behavior and will protect its sovereignty. The Qatari Prime Minister accused Israel of sabotaging the Gaza ceasefire talks. However, he stressed that Qatar will continue to play the role of mediator on various issues to promote stability in the region. Let's listen to the Qatari Prime Minister.
إن الهجوم الإسرائيلي اللي تم اليوم على أرض قطر ويعني لا نستطيع أن نسميه إلا بإرهاب دولة يمارسه شخص مثل نتنياهو في سياق هذه السياسات الممنهجة ومحاولاته المستمرة لزعزعة الأمن والاستقرار الإقليمي هي فقط رسالة واضحة للمنطقة ككل. وهذه الرسالة تقول أن هناك لاعب مارق في هذه المنطقة وهناك عربدة سياسية مستمرة في هذه المنطقة وانتهاك لسيادة الدول. نتنياهو بنفسه صرح بأنه سيعيد تشكيل الشرق الأوسط. هل هذه الرسالة بأنه سيعيد تشكيل الخليج أيضا؟ الوساطة في الدبلوماسية القطرية هي جزء من هذه الهوية وستستمر ولن يثنينا أي شيء عن الاستمرار في هذا الدور في كافة القضايا المختلفة حولنا في المنطقة وصولا لاستقرار المنطقة وصولا لاستقرار شعوبنا.
Okay, we're now joined by Irina Sukerman. She is a senior journalist and she joins us live from New York in the United States. Thank you very much, Irina, for joining us here on the program. A lot to unpack here, of course. However, Benjamin Netanyahu's language is very direct, and he said that the perpetrators of October the 7th will not be safe wherever they are, even if that is on US ally soil, and risks throwing diplomatic negotiations in the air. Irina, just very briefly, because we've got a lot to cover here, what are your thoughts on the power dynamics here, given both the United States, Israel's and Qatar's statements that we just heard there?
What we witnessed is elaborate political theater because various actors had to distance themselves from any knowledge about what occurred. I think Qatar pretty much had no choice. I think it received advanced warning. Otherwise, we might have found some of the Qatari officials right next to the Hamas leadership that was targeted. It is no secret that Qataris have been telling Hamas to keep the hostages for the past 2 years, and certainly Israel would have notified them to get out of the way or face the strike. It's also obvious that without U.S. With U.S. knowledge, something like that would have been difficult to coordinate, considering that there is a major U.S. base in Qatar. It's not a coincidence that the strike followed Hamas' rejection of the ceasefire plan proposed by President Trump, which Israel had accepted. I think at this point, it has become obvious to Israel that Hamas had no intention of giving up the hostages or agreeing to any reasonable deal.
Yes, okay, Irina, do stay with us. We are staying on the same